What if your investments could pay you consistently? Not having to worry about day trading, not looking at market charts, or even ignoring the noise that we see in the marketplace in its entirety. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down 3 high dividend ETFs that are designed to generate passive income, why investors are loading up on them right now, and how they compare to the S&P 500. So if your goal is income, freedom, and generating long-term wealth, this is the video for you. So why does passive income matter? Most people are taught to focus on growth. When we start looking at these high tech companies, it is a very strong focus on growth, buying stocks, buying ETFs, hoping that they go up. But growth doesn't pay the bills. This is where income and where that passive income does come in. Dividend ETFs pay cash just for holding them. And when the income becomes very predictable, it creates options within your life. That's why income producing assets play such a big role in serious long term wealth and also thinking about as you prep for retirement, being able to replace a majority of your income. Now, the first ETF we're going to look at is the JEPQ, which is the high income and it does produce high income from stocks. This is the JP Morgan NASDAQ Equity Premium Income ETF. This one is very unique and this one is relatively new. It owns large NASDAQ stocks, which we see a lot of these ETFs doing nowadays. But instead of relying on the dividends, it generates income by selling covered call options. Now, over the last 2 or 3 years, we have seen these ETFs just absolutely explode in the marketplace. The option premium gets paid to the investors as income. I do own a couple of these and they do generate incredibly well. And it produces a very high yield overall when we start looking at just a straight dividend producing company or a blue chip stock. Now, right around 8 to 10% range. Now, think about that for a minute. When we start thinking of something like the SCHD that is performing roughly around 3.8%, getting an 8 to 10% yield, of course, comes with a much higher risk. You're basically giving up some of the upside or some of the growth that we see from the ETF, in turn, getting that consistent cash flow. So let's talk about the performance. In the last year, JEPQ has delivered roughly a 15% total return, which is pretty good. In the stock market, again, as we've seen it grow in 2025, the 15% return is pretty decent because remember, you are giving away some of that upside. Over the last 3 years, total return has been roughly 45 to 50% since the inception, and there is no information right now for 5 years because they are relatively new in this covered call options that they're having. Now, in comparison, the S&P 500 was about 18% over the last year, 85% in the last 3 years. So again, when you start focusing in growth versus focusing on income, you are kind of looking and exploring two different buckets in their entirety. Yes, the JEPQ has underperformed the S&P 500 in very strong bull markets, which were the last 3 years, but that is not the goal. The income is the goal when you start looking at these ETFs. Growth, of course, is kind of a byproduct or a secondary part that we like with these ETFs. Now, the second one we're looking at is the SPHY. Now, this is the Spider Portfolio High Yield Bond ETF. Now, for me personally, bonds are kind of a sticking point. I know my financial advisor always says you need to mitigate some of the risk, and you can do it with bonds. Now, this holds thousands of high yield corporate bonds, often called junk bonds. Now, this comes with a high risk, which we'll talk about in a little bit, issued by companies that will pay higher interest towards the money that they need. So, as they're raising capital, they're willing to give you or pay you a return for investing in their company. Now, this means a lot higher income for investors, but it also has a lot higher risk with some of these companies. The ETF is designed to pay you not to shoot the lights out on the growth that we see. 1 year total return on this, 8.9%. 3 year, roughly 30 to 35. When we look at the 5 year total return, 25 to 30%. Now, of course, compared to the S&P 500, looking at 95% over the last 5 years, you can see the difference in growth. But again, when we think of the SPHY, it is really trading growth for that steady income that individuals are looking for, which is why investors do use it and invest into bonds in its entirety. Then we start looking at the AGG. Now, this one a little bit different. Again, this is the iShares Core US Aggregate Bond ETF. Now, this is a foundational piece. And when we start looking at portfolios, when you start looking at income, it holds US Treasuries, government-backed bonds, and high-quality corporate bonds. This is not the junk bonds that we were just talking about. This is a regular, reliable income using bonds in general. Now, it's not very exciting, but that is the point. We want stability, we want capital preservation, and of course, a little bit of a modest income in there. When we start looking at the performance, last year 7%, 3 years roughly 15%, 5 year, of course, slightly negative due to 2022 and the bond crash and the market pullback we did see. Now, of course, again, when we start looking at the last 3 years, the S&P 500 has absolutely crushed it and outperformed every single one of these. But again, it's not about the growth that we're seeing with these big tech companies. It is about having and looking and getting out of the volatility and out of the market. The AGG's job is a very smooth ride. It is not to win the race. It is not to outpace growth. It is about the steady income that we see. So the combination of these three, when you put them in, you're getting income from three different sources, and that kind of creates the diversification that we like to see in a portfolio. You're getting option income from those stocks, high interest from those corporate bonds, which are a little bit risky, and then very stable income with the investment grade bonds that we see from the United States government. It isn't about chasing that super high yield, but it's about diversifying those income streams. That way, you're not relying on just one single income stream. That, of course, could falter, could pull back, could see a lot of issues. Now, of course, when it comes to investing, we have to talk about risk. High income always comes with a trade off. Option income can really fluctuate, and it can fluctuate greatly. Bond prices move with interest rates. Knowing we're going into 2026 where interest rates could be lower, higher yield bonds could struggle in a recession. And if we start seeing the rates go down, the rate of the corporate bonds themselves will actually go down. Now, this is why the strategy works, and really best to understand what you own, staying disciplined, and avoid chasing those high yield moments. And honestly, when we start looking at a lot of these ETFs and a lot of the income generation ETFs, like we were kind of saying with those options and those covered calls, you have your yield max, you have your round hill. There are a lot of companies that offer an incredible amount of yield, but you have to be careful and you have to do your own research, just like everything we share on this channel. When you start looking at some of those companies and they're just literally, NAV erosion to give you back your return, they are giving your money back itself. Some of the income from the options and the covered calls are not working incredibly well, and we really see it. So there is a very big lesson learned in here. Income investing is about consistency, not the hype. That is why something like the SCHD people still invest in, and it is still one of the biggest drivers. It's not about beating that S&P 500 every single year to build wealth. It is about creating and having those assets on a very reliable metric, being able to reinvest, to compound, and eventually getting to that income stream that can replace your income in its entirety. So if you found this video helpful, guys, and let me know what you guys think about the passive income, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below which ETF or any of these that are very similar, or do you want me to break these down a little bit further in the future videos? And I'll catch you in the next video.